You're in the middle of a massive construction project and you need exactly 5,000 tiny nails. Are you really going to sit there and count them out one by one? One, two, three? Yeah, no way. You'd literally be there all day. But what if I told you there's a simple trick to count thousands or even billions of tiny objects in mere seconds without ever actually counting them? By the end of this explainer, you'll know exactly how to do this using a brilliant concept called counting by weighing. We're going to uncover the secret behind chemistry's most important unit, the mole. We'll break down the formula behind it, and we'll see how scientists apply it to real-world biology. So, how do we actually count 5,000 nails without losing our minds? Here's the secret. It's all about mass ratios. Let's say one screw weighs exactly twice as much as one nail, so maybe 0.50 grams for the screw and 0.25 grams for the nail. Anytime you weigh out a pile of screws that is exactly twice as heavy as your pile of nails, you are completely guaranteed to have the exact same number of each item. 600 grams of screws and 300 grams of nails? Boom. You've got the exact same amount of hardware in each pile.
So going back to our frustrating 5,000 nails problem, since we know one single nail weighs 0.25 grams, we just do a super quick calculation. Step 1, multiply 5,000 by 0.25. Step 2, simply weigh out 1,250 grams of nails on a scale. That's it. You just perfectly counted 5,000 nails in seconds. And as you'll see, this exact same weighing logic is exactly how chemists count things that are way, way smaller than nails. I'm talking about atoms.
Now, atoms are obviously too small to count or even see. To deal with this, chemists use a concept called the mole. Now, don't let the weird name confuse you. By definition, a mole is just an amount unit. Think of it exactly like the word dozen. When you say a dozen, everyone automatically knows you mean 12. When a chemist says a mole, they just mean a specific, incredibly large number of atoms or molecules. It's the ultimate bridge between the invisible microscopic world and the tangible macroscopic world that we can actually put on a scale.
Wait, this is absolutely crucial. If a dozen is 12, what exactly is a mole? It's Avogadro's number, 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd power. Scientists define this by figuring out exactly how many carbon atoms exist in precisely 12 grams of pure carbon-12. And whether it's a mole of carbon, a mole of oxygen, or even a mole of donuts, it always means exactly this many items. And trust me, it's a staggeringly massive number.
Let's put that mind-bending scale into perspective. Imagine just one single, tiny drop of water weighing about 0.03 grams. That one little drop contains roughly 100 billion times more water molecules than there are people living on planet Earth right now. That is exactly why we need the mole. We literally can't talk about single molecules when dealing with amounts we can actually see. The numbers are just way too huge.
Okay, quick retention check. Let's see if we've got this. Imagine a prospector panning in a river who gets super lucky and finds 15 grams of pure gold. How many actual gold atoms is that? Well, to figure this out using our counting by weighing trick, we need to know how heavy 1 mole of gold is. And luckily for us, we have the ultimate cheat sheet. That cheat sheet is the periodic table. And this perfectly illustrates the absolute genius of chemistry. Notice how, for carbon, the average mass of a single atom is 12.011 atomic mass units, or AMU. But the mass of an entire mole of carbon atoms is 12.011 grams. The number is exactly the same, just with different units. The periodic table straight up gives us the molar mass for every single element. Stop right there, because this is a huge aha moment. The numerical values are totally identical, 12.011. But the scale is vastly different. One is the incredibly tiny mass of a single invisible atom. The other is the mass of Avogadro's number of atoms, which you could easily hold right in the palm of your hand. Because they share that same reference point, we can seamlessly translate atomic mass units into usable physical weights in grams. Now that we understand the core idea, let's look at the formula. How do we convert that physical mass sitting on a scale into a number of moles? It's just a simple two-step process. Step 1. Find the molar mass of your substance on the periodic table. Step 2, divide the given mass in grams by that molar mass. The grams basically cancel out and you're left with moles. Let's make this super concrete with a real-world example. According to the USDA, the estimated average requirement for dietary potassium is 4.7 grams a day. So if you eat a banana and some potatoes to hit that goal, how many moles of potassium are you actually consuming? Apply our rule. Take the mass you have and divide it by the molar mass.
If you look up potassium on the periodic table, its molar mass is roughly 39.1 grams per mole. We just take our 4.7 grams, divide it by that 39.1, and you get about 0.12. So you literally need to eat 0.12 moles of potassium every day. It's really just simple division. Now, let's take it one step further and find the exact number of atoms. What if you have a 5-gram piece of copper electrical wire and you want to know the exact number of copper atoms inside it? We just use a two-step calculation. First, we convert our grams to moles, exactly like we just did with the potassium. Then, step 2, we multiply that number of moles by Avogadro's number. Moles is always our bridge. So copper's molar mass is about 63.5 grams per mole. Since 5 grams is slightly less than a tenth of that, we know we've got a little less than a tenth of a mole. Multiply that by Avogadro's number, and we arrive at 4.74 times 10 to the 22nd power. That is a staggering amount of individual copper atoms packed inside just a tiny little scrap of wire. Now, I know exactly what some of you are thinking. A really common point of confusion here is, wait, what if I'm dealing with a compound instead of a single element, like the amino acid glycine, which your body uses to build proteins? It's a mix of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. How do we find its molar mass? It's honestly super simple. You just look at its chemical formula and add up the molar masses of all its individual atoms combined. So here's the golden rule of stoichiometry, and you'll want to remember this. There is absolutely no direct conversion between grams and atoms or molecules. You can't just skip straight from one to the other. You must always convert to moles first. The mole is the universal translator between the weight we can clearly see and the quantity of molecules we can't. Now let's connect all this invisible math to real life, literally inside your own head. Why does counting these molecules actually matter to us? Well, neuroscientists studying the brain look at specialized cells called neurons, which talk to each other using neurotransmitter molecules, like dopamine. These molecules are stored in tiny biological packages called vesicles and are released to send signals. Understanding exactly how many molecules are in there is absolutely critical for medical science. Using incredibly advanced miniature probes, scientists have calculated that certain vesicles hold an average of exactly 30,000 dopamine molecules. If we use our math, that translates to an unimaginably tiny number of moles, about 50 zeptomoles, or 5 times 10 to the negative 20th moles. But being able to calculate this exact tiny amount is literally revolutionizing medicine. And here's where it gets amazing. When researchers are testing new therapies, they use these exact Molar calculations to see how a new drug actually changes the number of dopamine molecules released in the brain. Tracking these tiny molecular changes helps us understand and treat severe neurological diseases like Parkinson's and schizophrenia. We are quite literally counting invisible molecules to save human lives. Okay, before we finish up, let's do a quick recap of our key takeaways. First, we solve the impossible problem of counting massive quantities of tiny things by simply weighing them. Second, the mole is the chemist's dozen. It flawlessly bridges the physical mass we measure to the exact number of atoms. And third, Avogadro's number, 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd, is that magic constant that makes all the math work out perfectly. I'll leave you with one final thought to mull over today. If you drank a standard 240-gram cup of water earlier, how many moles of water did you just consume? Remember, water's molar mass is roughly 18 grams per mole. Do the quick math on that, and you'll realize you're drinking Avogadro's number several times over in a single gulp. Keep practicing these conversions, and you'll completely master the language of chemistry in no time. And hey, if you want to see how we use these exact moles to balance explosive chemical reactions, be sure to check out our next explainer on stoichiometry.